Hello everyone. The fifth game of the World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen, who played black, and Jan Nepo, who played white, ended in a hard-fought draw, leaving the score at 2.5 apiece. We're delighted once again to have with us ex-World Champion Garry Kasparov to review the game. Garry, big welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. So another draw, yeah?
Another draw, yeah. But, you know, as you suggested, Garry, Jan kept on chipping away at Magnus with his anti-marshals.
Yeah, he's trying. So, and Magnus doesn't repeat the same, the same line.
Yeah,
so it seemed that he was not quite happy with the outcome, the opening outcome, and he made a very rare move here, Rook D8.
Yeah, I saw it. I thought, wow.
This is. I mean, it sounds very odd because it's basically black gives up a file.
Yeah.
So now all of a sudden the Rook on A1. Which is it's typically a problem because it takes time to develop this rook, because you have knight, you have bishop, and so that's, and the pawn, you have to take these pieces away and just eventually to build this rook somewhere. Now this rook is active, but it seems that Magnus wants to play marshal anyway.
Yeah.
Because after C3, I think he would have played D5. He already played against Duda.
Yeah. Yeah.
He lost, and I can hardly believe that C3 D5 is sound. Because you have marshal, but with a file open. I mean, this is it's amazing. But it seems to me that this is again. I trust the analysis.
Yeah.
Because after C3, I see no rational ideas. Maybe play D6, but then D4. Yes, so that's the
This is another main line. It's
no,
but I mean, Jan played H3 almost instantly. I mean, Magnus barely had time to press his clock, and Jan had played H3. So he seemed.
Yeah, yes, I didn't watch this. Naturally, of course, now D5 ID doesn't work.
Yeah,
the one that that's Magnus played against Jan there, because now this is the A file is open, and that's not going to work. So D6 and C3, and now we have the classical Robes position, but with A pawns disappeared. And again, white rook is active, but also black has now a chance, because B4, so they activate their rook.
Yeah. It's very, very, very interesting. I mean, those positions with the A and B file pawns missing. I thought it'd be better for white somehow. But
the way that black played reminds me of shogi. Because the rook is the strongest piece, and you have to push the pawn. This is just to open the rook. Yes, and this is that. I think that's if my memory is correct, the rook is located on this file. So that's why you push the pawn. And he played D4.
Played D3. Yeah, D3 here.
D3.
Yeah, takes, and now a very unusual move.
But why not D4?
Instead of D3. Instead of D4. I don't know. I guess we're taking on C3, probably taking on D4, going D5. I guess something like this.
And then and that's
it's probably going to be something like this, and you don't have the C3 square somehow, so it's probably a little tough, I guess.
I'm still curious. What if the knight D2 now, but bishop F5? Yes.
I guess so.
Yeah, and bishop F5. Yes, threatening knight C3 to actually to win the queen.
Oh yeah. It's I mean, Jan was playing these moves very, very quickly. I mean, B takes C3 takes B5 is a novelty. It hasn't been seen anywhere before. But Jan replied a tempo again with knight BD2. And Magnus was thinking, taking regularly sort of 5 minutes for every move now. So I had the feeling he was maybe trying to remember exactly what he wanted to do here.
But it's I think in general the white has slight edge, and I think Magnus would have preferred to play this position with white. Because he's very good in adding one small advantage to another. It looks good for white, because it's pawn on C3 cuts knight on C6, and again black has to find a way to solve the problem. Magnus actually eventually found it and brought knight on G6, because otherwise knight on C6 is a very odd position.
I mean, he played this this good plan. I think bishop D6, queen C2, H6, maybe maybe not strictly necessary straight away, I think. But I mean, a useful move in general. Knight F1, knight e7, but Jan just played these moves very, very quickly, just setting up his pieces in lovely style, you know. And here Magnus had a big long thing, and he said after the game that he found this position quite intricate, quite difficult, and he was really trying to choose between rook e8 and the move that he played in the game, which was queen e8, to swap off the light squared bishops and give himself a bit of space. And I think, I mean, you know, looking at what the engines wanted, they had two ideas. I mean, rook e8 was, rook e8 was the was one of the main ideas of the engines, just to play bishop e6 afterwards, which looked pretty good. The other amazing engine idea was to play queen e7, and after knight f5, just to play queen d8 again. So this was, but I mean, I think if you'd done this, then I don't think any human would do this somehow, you know. So I mean, I thought queen e8 was what I was looking at when I was analyzing by myself, but there was actually, I think this was the key moment of the game.
That's what I saw it. Yes, I saw it because that's the moment I saw, and I think here c4 was critical.
Yeah, c4 was absolutely critical here because Jan played rook d1 and Magnus played very solidly after, but c4 threatening c5 is quite dangerous.
No, but c4, I'm surprised Jan, you know, I don't know how much time did you spend on rook d1?
10 minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting because if you look at the position, so you should understand that bishop on d6, while it's passive, but it still it holds black's position.
Yeah,
so as long as bishop on d6, black definitely can hold because it's just it's there no weaknesses. Yes, again passive, but big deal. So this is if white has no targets. So kicking this bishop from d6 might be a big deal. Yeah, because the moment this bishop is no longer there, then there might be problems. And I don't know, was bishop e6 then bishop a4? Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at what the engines say, I mean, they wanted to do but two things that are really unintuitive. Either c5. This was one idea. Again, it's not something I'm particularly keen on, but it is. That was the main move. The other idea was to play queen e6.
Which is not human at all.
It is not human. No, exactly. And the problem is actually that the human moves in this position, so bishop e6, bishop a4, this can get quite awkward quite quickly. So, for example, bishop d7, we play c5 here.
Well, that's already clear. That's not good.
I mean,
again, the moment bishop is pushed from d6, you know, it's the black position may start crumbling.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, just go back to where we were. So so I mean, c4 was probably very, very strong. I think at any rate it was a real challenge for Magnus, I think, at this point. But yeah, I mean, Jan, I'm sure Jan really, you know, understood that it was quite a critical moment because he spent 10 minutes on his move here. But he came out with.
No, but what do you think c4, c5? Because I think Magnus will play c5. I guess that's.
Yeah,
Magnus would not let him play c5.
Yeah.
And now rook ed1. Yes, that's has more sense.
Yeah, rook ed1, or there's also bishop a4 as well, just with the idea to put the bishop on c6 to d5.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, bishop on d5. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually why it's just one of those subtle points that queen e6 was the idea of the engine, so that if you go something like, let's have a look. What possibilities did we have? For example, rook eb1. If rook eb1 here, threatening c5, then we play c5, and then we can actually stop the bishop coming to c6 because we can play something like bishop a4. We can take, and go bishop e7. You know, this was the sort of the subtleties that the engines were coming up with. But yeah, I mean, still, it's you know, white's always quicker to get something onto d5. So. Yeah, you know, I mean, it really is. I think Magnus would have had a bit of an irritating afternoon if Jan had found this.
Yep, no doubt. No doubt.
So yeah, but it's surprising in a way because, you know, Jan, I think he understood it was a crucial moment, but he played this move rook ed1, and somehow he's so much slower. Yeah, I mean, bishop e6, bishop a4, bishop d7, and he's just tempi down. He's going to be tempi down on the whole thing. And yeah, I mean, he made a decent go of.
But so what if what about it's not knight d2? What about bishop takes d7 or c4 anyway? No, knight on d2.
Yeah, sorry. So bishop takes d7. Yeah, I guess we take with the queen here.
Yeah, c4. Yeah, if we try to do the same thing.
Yeah, we've got our queen on c6 now. I think this is the key point.
Okay, I understand. So and c5, rook d8, and bishop f8. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And we have just enough time to.
Bishop goes on f8. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we're 2 or 3 tempi down on what we could have.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
It's so it's a real I mean a real shame there. So I mean this plan basically c4 to c5 is too slow, and
But then the rest is yes. I think it's Magnus has very solid.
He was incredible. Yeah, he was incredibly solid, and this sort of ending. He's never, he was whipping them. Suddenly he was playing very fast, playing his moves quickly, and he curled up into a ball very beautifully, and it was just, I mean, this was quite. I mean, it's just lovely,
Yeah, it's important. Magnus,
good play, just
maneuvers nicely. Knight goes on e6, and and while young position is optically look very good, but it's just nothing.
Yeah, and I mean this plan simply of playing the bishop to f8 doesn't matter about your king side being tied up or anything. He just goes knight d6.
Yeah, exactly.
Knight,
and that's it. So that's knight on e6 holds everything. Yeah.
But still, Jan sort of he pulled at a thread there, and he got something, So it was.
Magnus again. That's what we said, by the way, we made the right prediction. We said e4.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised, as I've been saying that match would be much more difficult for Magnus than people thought, and that's the case. It's much tougher. Yeah, and Jan definitely, as now we can probably say, with great amount of certainty, he's not going to play Greenfield or neither, or it's highly unlikely. This is the way he plays is just very different.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I guess, Magnus is just going to try, something, just try and pick a hole and in his next white game. I mean, do you think Jan is going to keep on, as long as the match score stays level? I guess Jan's going to keep on going on the anti-martial, I guess, because he's getting little bits, maybe.
Look, again, it's naturally, that's if you see that Magnus played something on game 3 and then game 5, and I think that what he got in game 5 was worse than game 3. So that's an indication that he's not comfortable. He's on one line. So whether Jan decides to shift elsewhere on game 7 or sticks with martial, I think we'll see more of e4 and anti-martial.
Yeah.
Jan still has 4 more games with white. And I think that e4 will remain his main weapon. Though, again, I will not be surprised if he tries something else.
Yeah, I mean, maybe after a rest day or something, just to throw in a d4.
Yeah, but now the rest day, and then 3 games, yes, in the row.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So it's
and Magnus plays two whites, yes.
Yeah, Magnus plays 2 whites. So probably quite a critical part of the match, I guess, because I think Magnus would be really trying to make something at this stage of the match, I guess.
I think this is the that's the again, this match has many critical points. So there's the equator is always moment, just to make some to be more precise in our judgment. And all I can say that if Magnus doesn't take a lead in the next 3 games, I think Jan may have a psychological advantage.
Yeah.
So because I think Magnus is widely expected to win easily, and it seems now that he's struggling, and I think it puts a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah. I mean, Garry, you've so much match experience. I mean, you've had long runs of draws in your matches before. I mean,
unlimited. The match it was a different. The rules were different.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
This is fairly short match by my standards with Karpov.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's just 14 games, and Magnus. Look, he's already is what 12 it's 19 straight draws in the World Championship Match.
Yeah.
So far again, it's his record in matches not that impressive, and I don't think he's willing to take everything for a chance of rapid.
Yeah. No, I think that's a definitely be a risk against Jan. So yeah, the match is gonna keep on getting tenser and tenser. It's
absolute tense and tenser. So I think that's the next 3 games. Yeah, I think will be interesting, and I don't want to overpromise, but I think we'll see something interesting.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think so too. I think Magnus with 2 whites is gonna. I think one of those white games is going to deliver something interesting, and then we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, he has to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Good. So see you the day after tomorrow.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks very much, Garry.
Okay. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.